Hey guys, Jonathan Graham here. Well, Christmas is coming up, so I have this model. I actually designed this one a few months ago. But this is my Christmas tree. I'm going to be teaching this today because of Christmas. Here's one. This is from 2 squares of paper. This is from 2 6-inch squares. I used a pattern on the top, and there's the bottom. This was from 2 3-inch squares. I have a brown on the base and green on the top. But for today we're going to use 6-inch squares, so it'll be this size. You can really make them any size you want. And you need 2 pieces of paper. I'm going to be using green for the top, red for the base side, just because I don't have any brown. I'm going to use the red, plus the red and green are kind of Christmassy. So first we're going to take the one you want for the base, and we're going to make a water bomb base. So you want it to be colored on the outside, so we're going to start with the colored side up and fold in half, horizontally and vertically. Now flip it over and fold in half diagonally, making sure you line up your corners. Both squares are the same size, of course. And now we're going to just open this up and we're going to collapse this down on those creases, and this is a water bomb base. This will be the bottom of our tree. So we'll set this to the side, and now we're going to make the unit for to make the top of the tree, which is right here. The red will be on the bottom, the green will be on the top in this case. We're going to make a preliminary base. So this you want to start with the colored side up, and we're going to fold it in half diagonally with the colored side up. Both directions. Then we're going to flip this over so the white side is facing up, and we're going to now fold it just in half normally, like horizontally and vertically. And I'm just going to make sure my corners are lined up here. This is a 2-piece model, by the way. 2 pieces of paper. And now we're going to just turn this so you can see the top here. Now you're just going to push together, bring the corners together and flatten. And that's to the top of the tree. Now we're going to add a few extra folds to our preliminary base before we put it all together. We're going to hold it so that this side with the open flaps is facing away from you, and we're going to bring this edge to the center, lining up to the corner. So we're basically going to make like a diamond. This side. And simply flip this over left to right and fold these sides to the center, creating that sort of diamond folder shape there. So you have like a kite. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take all the flaps of the top, all of these flaps, and fold them down along the edge. Unfold them and fold them the other way. Now we're going to unfold here, unfold here, flip the model over, unfold here and unfold here. And now we're going to take the flaps and just fold them in one at a time. So here goes one flap, here goes the second flap, here's the third one, and finally the fourth one. And you're just going to recollapse it like the preliminary base, but now you have kind of a diamond shape. If you hold it like this, it kind of looks like a diamond. And now we're going to assemble, you put these 2 pieces together, and the way you want this to go is, you can see this diamond here, this is a flap, goes all the way to this corner. You're going to have these, there's 4 of these, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. You want these 4 flaps to be on the outside of over top of these 4 edges on the water bomb. So the way I do that is I basically take the back one right here and place my water bomb base, the backmost layer, on top of it. And then I just let the flap go in here, and then same over here. So when you're done, you have this shape. See, the 4 flaps of the diamond, the green piece, are just slid over and pushed down as far as they can on there. And you want to flatten this so that these are valley folds, these creases, existing creases. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this up on the existing crease and extend the crease to the edge of the red section. Repeat on this side. I'm now going to flip this. These will kind of overlap, but that's okay. We're going to flip this over, and again, fold these in, making sure everything is nicely aligned. And now we're going to get ready to lock this together. So I'm going to basically take this little flap, this red flap, and fold it right against the green. Right across the green. Right here. And I'm going to flatten this. Now you can have this perfectly straight, but I like to have this base a bit smaller. So I'm going to actually bring this up a bit so that it's slightly on an angle when you do that squash. Actually, good tip is line up this edge to kind of almost touch this little point here. And now you're going to take this fold and make a crease starting at this point. And this is just a reference point for later. Now we're going to bring this up. Again, we're going to do a squash fold here. Fold it right over the fold this flap down over the green part there. And just make this squash go right to our existing crease. So it has a slight angle to the base. Now this we can leave that like that for now. Actually, now we're going to flip it over and do the same. Now this is a little bit easier since we have some guide folds. Fold this up, squash, and you can line it up with this edge and also with the one underneath. Repeat on this side. And now we are ready to lock it together. So this little part we can unfold now. In fact, I recommend you to reverse this for a later step. Now we're going to tuck these inside. If you look here, you can see there's this green area here. There's a pocket there. That's where we're going to tuck these in. I'm going to start with either one. I guess I'm going to fold it up. And you want to make sure you grab this green layer behind. And you're just going to fold this down and sort of reverse it inside. And again, this flap, I'm just going to fold it up first. Make sure I got all my green layers. And tuck it in. So you shouldn't see that green flap when they're tucked in. You should just see the red in this case, or whatever color you are using. And then you have kind of what almost looks like a funny looking ice cream cone. Now we're going to flip this over and do the same. Make sure I get the green there, all the layers. Put it behind all of the layers. You don't want to just be in. You don't want this. You don't want it to go like this. You want to push it in and have it like this. You want it to be behind. So just go back to that and make sure you go right behind there. Tuck this behind and fold it down. Now what you have is what looks kind of like a funny looking ice cream cone. Now we're going to turn this into a tree. So what we're going to do next is we're going to make a crease where the ice cream and the cone meet and make a very sharp crease. In fact, I'm going to reverse that crease a few times. This will make the next few steps easier. Now we're going to fold this up and leave it folded, and we're going to do like a pleat. And this is kind of fold to your, where your preference is. I like to go about here. And then I can fold this back over and it gives me an idea of how big my base is. I want my base to be a bit smaller, so I'm just going to fold this down a little bit more. There, that looks good right there. Of course, you can adjust when you fold your squashes how pointed it is. That looks to be pretty good. And now you're going to take this and crease it sharply, and then I'm going to unfold these folds and I'm going to reverse all of those folds. This the other way, and this the other way. And this is so that when we get to the next step, I'll reverse that as well. It'll become a lot easier to do. So, I think we're ready for the next step. The next step is sort of tricky. We're going to kind of, I guess, sort of inflate this. But since there's no hole to actually blow into this, we have to kind of do it differently. You can see here and here, we're going to place our fingers on each side and gently pull apart. And pull, especially near the corners. And when you're pulling this apart, you want to gently push on the base. And see the base flattens. And then the rest will pop into shape. And now, this is sort of tricky, but you just want to take your time when you're doing this. And then you're going to kind of have what looks like a funny looking diamond. See there, now we have a diamond. And now to turn this diamond into our tree, we're going to do kind of like a sink fold on these folds we made. So it's pretty easy. You're just going to gently take, I start at a corner and just push in, push in, push in, and the base is flat there. That's where the tree will stand on. And push in, and then I'm just going to sharpen the corners, neaten it up a little bit. square off the edges nice on the bottom. And when you're done, you should have a very nice little Christmas tree. As you can see, from 2 squares of paper. See, this one I made the bottom a little more. I adjusted those flaps so that were more pointed, so I had a slightly more narrower base, but you can kind of adjust your base to what you like. And there you go. I hope you were able to make that one. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Have a happy holiday, and I will see you next time.